Well, what's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. SJ Aviation HQ here. Welcome back to the channel today. Today we have the model review of the United Airlines Boeing 777-200 wearing the Battleship Grey livery released by JC Wings. Before anything though, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. Great indication of how much you enjoyed today's video and of course the content here on this channel. Whilst you're there, if you want to come along and support me even further, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. It will help me out a lot. Now, as mentioned, the model review of the United Airlines 777-200 wearing the Battleship Grey livery, as mentioned, released by JC Wings, was released in September of 2024. So very cool indeed. Just want to address the elephant in the room. It has been quite a while since I recorded anything for or filmed anything for YouTube. I just want to say a bit of an apology for that. I just wanted to take some time for myself to regather my thoughts and before I jumped back into it. Haven't exactly been motivated that much to film, but I'm back at it. Got a great workload ahead of me in terms of filming. Want to go ahead and check out the what's in the works. Go ahead and check out my community post on my channel. They've got all the rundown there of what's to come, so very cool. So going into today's model review, starting off, going to be showcasing the box ahead in front of you in a moment. But before that, going to read out some information about United Airlines as an airline, and then some information about the particular airframe that we're looking at today. So founded on April the 6th of 1926 and commencing operations on March the 28th of 1931, United Airlines is a major American carrier headquartered at the Willis Tower in Chicago, Illinois, that operates an extensive domestic and international route network spanning across the United States of America and all 6 continents on the globe. According to planespotters.net, United Airlines has an aircraft fleet consisting of 1,057 aircraft, including 96 of the Boeing 777 wide bodies. This makes up of 74 of the 200 variant, which includes the 200ER. I'll put some information on the bottom of the screen to differentiate the variants there, and 22 of the 200ERs, of course ER standing for extended range. United Airlines received their first Boeing 777 on May the 15th of 1995, which also was the world's first delivered Boeing 777 to enter commercial service, with the first revenue flight taking place on June the 7th of 1995 between Washington Dulles and London Heathrow in England, of course. And this is, of course, the airframe that we're looking at today. So we're going into some information about this particular airframe as well. This aircraft's MSN number or manufacturer's serial number is 26916. This aircraft here was the 7th Boeing 777 to roll off the production line at Boeing. This aircraft is a Boeing 777-200, of course a non-ER, and specifically a 222 because 22 was at the time the Boeing customer code for Boeing built aircraft, factory new Boeing built aircraft that were going to United Airlines. This aircraft is a 31-year-old Boeing 777 which performed its first flight on April the 25th of 1995, was built and produced at Everett Painfield, and is currently stored in Victorville as of a couple of days ago, within very recently. This aircraft's registration is November 777 Uniform Alpha. Again, a Boeing 777-200 non-ER. Was delivered to United Airlines on May the 15th of 1995, equipped with two Pratt & Whitney 4000 engines, particularly the Pratt & Whitney 4077 engine. This aircraft's fleet number is 2477, and this aircraft entered into service on June the 7th of 1995, and had the titles of Working Together until January of 2005, and this aircraft was stored in Victorville between June the 29th of 2021 and May the 26th of 2022, and as mentioned just a moment ago, this aircraft is currently stored in Victorville again as of a few days ago. I'll put the accurate date on the screen right about now for you guys. I have heard some rumours regarding the fact that this airframe is soon to be retired, but I'm also on the fence about that information. I'm pretty sure it's gone to Victorville to be stored and waiting for some engine parts or something related to that. So hopefully this airframe hasn't been retired. If it does get retired, it better go to somewhere like the Boeing Museum of Flight in Seattle, or the Palmer Air Museum in Tuscan. It better not be scrapped, that is for sure. So that's that information out of the way. So let's go ahead and showcase this beautiful box for you guys. So as you can see, it is another one of these nice and clean box designs. So at the top of the box we have the United Airlines logo here, very cool. So this livery, the Battleship Grey livery, was on the livery of the legacy United Airlines before it went to the current United. It was spanned between 1993 and 1998. It was after the Sailbass livery and before the Blue Tulip livery. The Blue Tulip also being the Rising Blue livery. And here we have in the top right corner we have the worldwide service titles there, which is also on the aircraft, which we're looking at very soon. Here is the Boeing logo here, the emblem, and of course the Boeing text there in the Boeing font, very cool. Here is the United Airlines Tulip logo with the lines that are also on the tail fin just there, very cool. Here is the Boeing 777-200 variant text here, of course the non-ER. These are the two versions that JC Wings have released now. This one of course September 2024, not quite sure when this one was released, so I'll put it in this on the bottom of the screen here for you guys. Here we have the 777 text here, and it's saying that it is a die-cast aircraft model in 1:1 scale. Here on the bottom panel we have the United Airlines text here again, the die-cast, where it says a die-cast aircraft model, 1:1 scale, and it where it has the 777. Here we have the two barcodes for the respective models, very cool. Of course the one on the left hand side is the one that is in the showcasing today. On the right panel, some logos here, worldwide service logo, the Boeing 777-200 and the 777. And the top panel here is identical to the bottom panel that we just saw a moment ago. And the left hand panel here is identical to the right hand panel that we saw just a second ago. Very cool. But on the back of the box we have the United Airlines logo here, worldwide service on the right here, but then we have some different details here. So we have the side-on view of the aircraft, very cool, and then we have the top view of the aircraft, very cool, and then down here on the bottom right we have the specs of the Boeing 777-200 or 200ER. I'm pretty sure both of the variants have similar measurements in terms of the metric unit there. And then here we have some warning information in various languages. Made in China, as of course JC Wings is based in China. Most of the brands are these days in terms of the big companies for the 400 scale. I did want to get the Battleship Grey livery in my collection very actively, so I was glad to get this model in my collection. This model here arrived into my collection on July the 3rd of this year, so that being 2025. Will feature in an upcoming video that is celebrating my 2025 collection, so that will be coming up very soon onto the channel, so do stick around for that. I am hoping for the likes of HX models to come out with the United Airlines 747-400 in the Battleship Grey livery, and of course the Rising Blue or Blue Tulip livery. Did see a few of those 747-400s in Sydney, I think it was 2009 that I saw them, so it would be great to see that as a model. I will go ahead and get them for sure. But that is this part of the video done for you guys. So that is the reading out of the airline, the aircraft, and the showcasing of the box. So let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the beautiful United Airlines Boeing 777-200 wearing this Battleship Grey livery, of course released by JC Wings in their September 2024 release. Now in this portion of the video I'm going to showcase the model up close to the camera for you guys, giving you some nice up close shots of the details on this aircraft, and of course giving you some insights about what some of the components do in the event of a flight. So let's go ahead and dive in straight into the review of this model. First and foremost, zooming right into the model for you guys and getting it up close. Now here is an up close shot of this absolutely stunning looking model aircraft. Beautiful Battleship Grey livery as always. Of course, the first ever 777 to be delivered to an airline from Boeing. Delivered to United Airlines, as I mentioned earlier on May the 15th of 1995. So very cool indeed. And of course, this aircraft, November 777 Uniform Alpha, for its first commercial operation, first revenue flight between Washington Dulles and London Heathrow in England or the UK on June the 7th of 1995. It's very cool indeed. Of course, this model aircraft arrived into my collection on July the 3rd of 2025, so during this year. So it will feature in the 2025 in review video that will be coming on to the channel fairly soon. So here is the front portion of this aircraft. Of course, in the middle of the shot you can make out the weather radar, the nose cone, my bad. Inside that would be the weather radar. Now that is the purpose to detect storms along the flight path of a given flight, to give the pilots a visual indication of the rainfall intensity and of course the possibility of turbulence as well. This enables them to navigate around any potential hazardous areas along the flight plan that they've assigned for their flight. So very cool indeed. You can make out the cockpit windows there, and of course the window wipers as well, looking cool as well. Here we have the Star Alliance logo just here in the middle of the shot. Very nice indeed, and of course where it says worldwide service, you saw that details on the box just before. Here we have the working together text here. Now, as I mentioned before, this was on the aircraft until January of 2005. So very cool indeed. The Battleship Grey livery was on was in the service with United Airlines between 1993 and 1998. But of course, some of the aircraft were painted well afterwards, of course. Now here we have where it says the fleet number 2077 just in the middle of the shot, just there. Yeah, I'm not too sure, or maybe that's not the fleet number. I'm not too sure what that is, to be honest. So let me know in the comments below what the 2077 is signifying there. And then we have ETOPS there. I'll put some information on the screen now, right about now, for you guys so you know what ETOP stands for. But here we have the nose cone of this aircraft. As you can see, it does roll on the axis there, looking quite cool. I do think that the strut is maybe a little bit too thick for my liking, but otherwise does the job in my opinion. Here is the L1 boarding door, one of the two main boarding doors on the side of the aircraft. Of course, the L2 boarding door is just here. Very nice. And then we have the cabin windows here. Very nice indeed. And then we have the old legacy titles of United Airlines. Of course, the Battleship Grey text there. Now here in the middle of the shot, just here above my thumb, we can make out the pedostatic system, and that is used to determine an aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude and altitude trend for a flight. And moving back down here, we can make out some pedo tubes just there above my thumb. Now that is used to measure fluid flow velocity, and above that would be the angle of attack sensor, or AOA sensor. That is used to offer a visual indication of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. So very cool indeed. Moving back down here in the middle of the shot, just there we can make out the wing light there. Or should be another wing light down here. I believe it's just here. Of course, that is of course to illuminate light onto the leading edge of the wing. But of course, the wing light here on, mounted into the wing here, is used during 0 and 10,000 feet during a flight. Is mandatory to have it on whilst on the active runway. So that's very cool information indeed. And here is this Pratt & Whitney engine here, of course, one of two Pratt & Whitney 4000 engines, or 4077 engines in terms of the variant of it. So very cool indeed, looking fantastic with the eagle in the emblem there of the Pratt & Whitney logo there. Just trying to get it to focus for you guys. There we go, looking fantastic as ever. Let's have a look inside of the engine. There we go, looking fantastic as always. Here is the leading edge of the wing here, with the slats on the aircraft. Of course, the slats are on the leading edge and the flaps are on the trailing edge, which is just here. Very cool. Now here we have down at the end of the wing here, we can make out that this is not an LR or a 300ER for example, because the LR variant of the 200 airframe has the right wingtips to, as of course it is the long range variant. Of course, this being the non-ER variant. Of course, the 200ER also has the flat edge of the wing here. But of course, you can make out the red navigation light at the very end or corner of the wing, just there. So that's very cool. Maybe if I can try and focus on it a little bit better to try and make it. There it is, right there. Very cool. And here is a nice looking view of the spoilers just above the flaps there. Now they are used to slow down the aircraft. They rise up from the wing, like they fold out like that. As soon as the main gears touch the runway, of course, when they are set to, when the spoilers are set to armed, of course, and of course there are the flaps just there. Let's have a look at the landing gear just quickly. Here we have this side's landing gear. As you can see, it does pivot on the axis there, and they do roll. Very nice indeed. Here is the emergency exit door, or the L3 door. Looking rather nice indeed, with some antennas on top of the fuselage just here, and on the bottom of the fuselage just there as well. Here is the flag of the United States of America with the registration next to that, November 777 Uniform Alpha, or N777UA, for those that aren't too familiar with the phonetic alphabet as mentioned earlier on in the video. Now here is the L4 door. Yes, the L4 door. This is another one of the boarding doors when boarding the aircraft via the air stairs, via the apron, of course, and of course the disembarking by those air stairs as well. Now here is my favorite part of this livery, is of course the tail fin, the empennage, the vertical fin, whatever you want to call it, with of course the blue and the royal blue and navy blue lines that are adorned on it. I cannot wait to get the 747-400 in my collection in terms of the Battleship Grey livery. Here is the United Tulip logo just here. Nicely, I believe this logo was also seen with the Sailbass livery, and also the Blue Tulip livery. Of course, the Blue Tulip livery, also known as the Rising Blue livery. Would love to have that in my collection as well. Now here are the elevators of this aircraft. Looking rather fancy indeed, if I say so myself. Let me just give it a wee focus for you guys. There we go. You can just see some small dots just on this side and some small dots on the other side, middle of the shot just there. They are known as logo lights or tail lights. They are used to eliminate light onto the tail fin, during night operations. Of course, to give a visual indication to the aircraft, that people who are inside the control tower about who the airline is. In this case, it would be United Airlines, of course. Can be used also as a marketing tool with anyone within within the perimeter of the the airport, of course, inside the terminals, of course, and of course the people who are outside the exterior of the airport as well, whilst plane spotting, to give a a visual indication of who the airline is, and of course a marketing tool to them who want to fly the airline, of course. So very cool indeed. And right here in the middle of the shot, we can make out the wedge-shaped APU just here, auxiliary power unit exhaust just here. Of course, the prongs on the end of the APU shouldn't be there. It should be flat, in my opinion. Maybe if JC Wings were to maybe sand it off or something just to make it a bit flatter, that would be not very nice. But of course, when we see the opposite side of the aircraft, which we'll be seeing in a moment, because the APU exhaust isn't on that side. So let me just have a wee look here. As you can see, there is no exhaust on this side of the aircraft. So very cool indeed. Now that we're looking at this side of the aircraft, let's make out some of the differences that are on this side. Now in the middle of the shot here, we can make out the forward baggage compartment, and just here. At the rear, we can see the rear baggage compartment just here. On this side of the wing, we can make out the green navigation light opposed to the red one on the opposite wing. And here is, I believe, the number 2 engine in terms of the number 1 on the opposite side. And very cool indeed. Otherwise, everything else is just is flipped around in terms for this side. And of course, the doors are known as the R doors. Of course, the letter R is to signify that this is the right-hand side of the aircraft. Opposite side being the L doors, of course, the left-hand side as well. And of course, the flag is not flipped around, as per every other aircraft which has a flag on it. Very nice looking model. If you're wanting this model in your collection, I would definitely go ahead and get one. Let's have a look at the bottom of the aircraft momentarily, with the nose gear doors just there, looking fantastic as ever. Moving down, we can see the stand hole just here with the beacon light just above that, and the grooves for where the landing gear doors would be. Here we have the red outline of the RAT, or the ram air turbine, that is used to provide some assistance to the pilots for when they electronics go out of the engines, to provide them some assistance for that. Very nice indeed. Here's another look at the landing gear, as you can see, freely moving on the axis of the wheels there, or the landing gear. Very nice. And then we have another antenna in the middle there, and some nice looking details on the belly of the tailplane, with the APU doors there, an entryway to the APU for anyone who was on the bottom of, looking at it from the ground view. So very cool. So I would definitely go ahead and get this model if you are wanting one in your collection, because they did come out, when I say they, I mean JC Wings, did come out with the one that has the 777 titles on the rear of the fuselage. So I believe they're just up here, or they might be up here somewhere along those lines. But if you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. Great indication of how much you enjoyed today's video and of course the content here on this channel. If you want to come along and support me even further, go ahead and subscribe below. And of course, whilst you're there, get the notification bell on. Set the notifications on to all, of course, to get all the notifications as soon as the videos go live here on the channel. When I come along and support my whereabouts on social media, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my Instagram page. And if you don't have the means to scan QR codes, you can go ahead and, check out the links in the description below or in the pinned comment. Go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my Linktree page with all of the links in one full place. Again, the links will be in the description as well, and of course the pinned comment. So thank you very much for coming along, guys. Comment below what you enjoyed in today's video. Do you like this model? Do you have it in your collection? And let me know what else you'd like to see on this channel moving forward. More model reviews are coming out very, very soon. 11 more will be on the channel in due course, so do stick around for that. And of course, unboxings and of course airport updates coming up very soon as well. So that would be it for today's video, guys. The model review of this United Airlines 777-200 released by JC Wings wearing this Battleship Grey livery. If you like what you saw, there'll be some options on the end screen for you guys soon enough, so you can go along and tune into those for more videos. On the left hand side would be the most recent video seen on this channel, and of course on the right hand side would be the full playlist of model reviews I've done so far here on this channel. In the middle will be where you can subscribe. But until next time, guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.